2014. I don't have that many crop circles for 2014, but these are manufactured or produced by God's minions. My Uncle Zed used to call them the ancients. I call them shapeshifters. They're what they are is energy beings, balls of light. They are God's minions. More than 13 billion years ago, God wanted to do the Big Bang, so he needed help. So he created the minions. They're on every planet and sun throughout the cosmos. They're in nebulas. They're in gas formations of stars starting. They're everywhere, whether you like it or not. God's minions are mentioned in the Torah, the Bible. I've read the Quran once. Sorry. I'm sorry, my Muslim brothers, but yeah, I only read it once. Don't know if they're in there, but in the Torah, they're talked about Adam and Eve. God decreed it. The minions made it happen. It was the minions that created Adam and Eve. Oops, sorry. And then Moses, he gets kicked out of Egypt, greatest, and he's sitting at the base of Mount Sinai. He sees these lights at the top of Mount Sinai. He goes and checks it out. And then next thing you know, they say, throw your staff on the ground. One of the minions bonds with the staff, and now Moses walks around with one of the minions as bonded with the staff. Hands it to Aaron in front of the Pharaoh, says, and throw this in front of the king. Next thing you know, his staff turns into, what? A snake? Yep. And then, hey, that's just a magic trick. We could do the same thing. And then Moses' snake eats the other two snakes. Maybe you watch the movie, The Ten Commandments. Basically, that's what happened. Moses goes out into the wilderness for 40 years with all the slaves out of Egypt. No water. Next thing you know, he takes his staff, whacks a rock, and enough water comes out to water and hydrate all the slaves. Next thing you know, you're reading, those minions turn that water into food. It's called manna, food of God, M-A-N-N-A. Part C, the sea. All these miracles are taking place. Who do you think is doing it? I've watched my entire life all these people trying to explain this, explain that. No. God's minions. That's what did it. That's end of the story. I'm sorry. You believe what you want, but this is the truth. Zoom forward a little bit further in history. Now we're into Jesus. Everyone on the planet knows that Jesus existed. It's called the Christ consciousness. Whether you want to believe in his teachings, his ministry, doesn't really matter. In the story of Jesus, it talks about Jesus and turning water into wine. Never happened. God's minions do that. They turn the water into manna for Moses, and then they turn water into wine. They turn one loaf, two loaves, how many loaves, into a multitude to feed a giant crowd. One fish, two fish to feed a multitude. They replicated what they were given. That's what they do. They're God's minions. When God says do this, they do whatever God tells them. Do you know what they call God? Central command. You'll find this out if you just research the Valiant Thor. Valiant Thor happened in 1957. One of the minions from Venus, planet of love, came here in I can't say research it yourself, but he spent 3 years here. And then in that story, it talks about the colonel. That was my uncle. My uncle spent 3 years with a shapeshifter. He didn't call them, he called them ancients, because they were older than dirt. Well, right now, my uncle is laughing hard as hell in heaven just for that one comment. They're older than dirt. All right. Research it. Do whatever. You don't want to believe me? I don't care. My job is just to spill the facts. That's why Nostradamus told you I was coming hundreds of years ago. Love this crop circle. That's why I've kept it on for so long. I lost my remote. All right, I found the remote. I was reminiscing about my Uncle Zed. Sorry. Missed the man. He was probably, you don't know it, but he ran the military right after World War II, and he's probably the greatest man that ever lived. That's why they immortalized him in Men in Black. The entire Men in Black series was based on him. He's the guy that ran everything. He was there when they set off the atomic weapon, the fourth atomic weapon to be set off on the planet. The first three were Hitler and his posse. On the third explosion or atomic detonation, Hitler's guys blew themselves up. And then the fourth one, White Sands, New Mexico. And that story will get very interesting very soon in 2018. Love you.